Fans of Flanders maakte een driedelige reeks over de opkomst en de val van Antwerpen. Deze week brengen we het laatste deel, of hoe de ondergang van de ene de opkomst van de andere inluidt.
The higher you rise, the harder you can fall. And it is a fall. Or is it a new beginning? We'll see. Let me take you back to Antwerp one last time. Previously, we talked about the new Spanish governor for the 17 provinces, Alexander Farnese. He launched a pretty successful military campaign to reconquer this part of the Low Countries that remained the rebellious Union of Utrecht. And it was this military campaign that would bring the Spanish armies to the city walls of Antwerp in 1584. The 3rd of July, the siege of Antwerp started. William of Orange would not live to see the outcome. He was shot dead 7 days later in Delft by a fanatical Catholic called Balthasar Gerard. Farnese wanted to cut the city of Antwerp off from its supplies. And he was pretty successful in this endeavor. Dendermonde, Ghent, they all fell into Spanish hands. So in the end, there was only one route left to keep the city of Antwerp from starvation: the river Scheldt. Farnese orders to build a blockade across the river, consisting of a bridge formed by 32 ships, going all the way from Fort St. Philip over there to Fort St. Mary over there. The rebels launched desperate attacks at this bridge, but without any luck. And in their attempt to regain control of the Kouwensteinse they are horribly defeated. Farnese writes several letters to the city officials asking for their surrender. They politely decline. But as the shortage of grain grows and leads to more and more problems in the city, they had to give in. Several months later, in August of 1585, Antwerp finally had to surrender. And Farnese entered the city with the Spanish armies through the Sint-Jorispoort, or Gate of St. George. Antwerp had finally fallen. You can be sure the people of Antwerp suffered the consequences for their arrogance. The Dutch fleet came too late for the rescue, so they decided to block the river Scheldt to prevent overseas trade to reach the now again Spanish Antwerp. Every Protestant in the area had 4 years to make a final choice: convert to Catholicism or leave the city. This led to a massive flow of refugees headed north to cities like Vlissingen, Rotterdam and Amsterdam. And most of these guys were intellectuals or rich merchants who put to use their money and know-how in these regions. And we know from archival records that at the origins of the famous VOC, the big Dutch trading company of the 17th century, were people who actually fled from Antwerp. So in a way, the Dutch Golden Age found its origin here in Antwerp. And at the risk of being too arrogant, you know, Antwerpen is de stad en de rest is parking.
Ik zeg adieu, wie